For someone who has never been to Europe like myself, this trip was a wonderful way to get a feel for the true lifestyle of Paris and Rome, see its beautiful sights, all while learning so much about the possibilities the global world of journalism has to offer. Being a part of a European lifestyle for a month impacted my life and perspective on Europe in a few different ways. Between 2 weeks in Paris, a weekend trip to Barcelona, and 2 weeks in Rome, there is no question European architecture is second to none. The very first thing I looked forward to seeing was the Eiffel Tower. The amount of metal used to build this ginormous structure is incredible. We had the opportunity to climb to the top, and it was amazing. The view from the Arc de Triomphe was just as amazing, if not better. The structure is solid stone with many statues of people engraved and museum stops on the way up. The detailed engraves in thick marble, stone, and brick of the many cool places takes hundreds of years to accomplish. Every historical building and structure is simply mind-blowing to comprehend its large size with its delicate detail engraved by hand in history. Some, like La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, are still under construction to this day, after over 130 years. All of these famous monuments bring tourists from all over. The fountains of Rome provide a beautiful view of structure and natural elements, while the Colosseum provides rich history of shows that included gladiators, animals, and humans forced to fight to their death. European culture was different. The amount of cigarette smoking was unreal. Eating small pastries for breakfast instead of large plates of pancakes, eggs, and bacon was very different. Not to mention steak and fries on the menu of every single cafe in Paris. Despite those things, I was pleasantly surprised to learn some of the ways Paris and Rome work to ensure the best lifestyle for their citizens. The metro transportation system in Paris costs more money to run than they make each year. Normally, a system like this would be shut down because it costs the government too much money. But the Parisian government knows how important that system is to its citizens, so they deal with the debt for the greater good. The amount of military soldiers on the streets was originally very alarming. However, you'll see them standing in places of importance like monuments, tourist spots, and airports, and eventually I felt much safer with them around, knowing nothing bad could happen. Markets and festivities are also very popular. I realized with the person-to-person connection of shopping small in Europe through their bakeries and markets, the community becomes much stronger and small businesses are supported very well. Rome also has an array of constantly running fountains of water around its city. This was one of my favorite things about the trip. Believe it or not, it's some of the best water I've ever had in my life. Citizens are able to have access to water 24/7, which is amazing for anyone, and especially people who are homeless. One of the biggest things I took away from this trip were the opportunities around the world. Journalism truly is a global industry. Visiting Eurosport and L'Équipe were great opportunities for me and my classmates to see just what journalism has to offer around the world. Eurosport is one of the biggest broadcasting companies on the planet. The difference between Eurosport and ESPN, however, is Eurosport broadcasts to 54 different countries worldwide in 22 different languages. I was equally impressed by L'Équipe newspaper. We as Michigan State University students were the first students from the United States of America to visit their studios. They were just as excited to see us as we were to see them. It was very impressive to see the different ways as a newspaper company they're improving and expanding to relate more to digital-focused content. L'Équipe not only writes a paper that's famous in Paris, but they also provide digital content, their own personalized app with sports news, highlights, and updates, social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat broadcast, as well as doing their own live broadcasts similar to Eurosport. Seeing the amount of success and lineage there are at these studio companies, it encouraged me to realize that there is so much opportunity out in the world. So often, me, myself, and many others look at the areas around us as places of work. Where can we expand our career that's comfortable for us? However, after viewing these places, I realized that if you take a step outside the box and look around. There are opportunities all over the planet and all over the country. Overall, this trip was an amazing opportunity for me. There's so much out there in the world to explore, and I was so glad that I got to do it with this group for sports journalism. After visiting these two beautiful countries, I plan to travel even more in my life and see what's out there in this great world. Most importantly, I feel more confident in my career path. I know that through the networking I have on this trip and through the lessons I've learned in visiting and meeting new people, there is so much that can be done, and I look forward to the journey.